6 o'clock. 6 o'clock on a Friday. What a perfect time to just shake loose, pause for a minute, get the week out of our system. Hi. So, one of my favorite things is just to move a little bit before I settle, to move before I'm still, kind of just, especially if I've been seated or just the normal asymmetry of the day, can shake it off, and then we can settle in. And just to give you some context about this sequence, that in traditional Chinese medicine, the organs associated with spring are the liver and the gallbladder. The liver stores the blood and it softens our qi so we don't become tense or restless. When these organs are working harmoniously, we become like bamboo, rooted and yielding. The liver is the general of the army, the official of strategic planning. It stores the blood, it guides the qi through the body. Within the energy of the liver lies our vision for our lives and the directions we are to take. The gallbladder is a small pear-shaped organ just below the liver, and the energy stored there is known as gallbladder official. It helps us decide intelligently between our options. It gives us the courage to make choices, to make decisions. So while the liver is the general, the gallbladder is her right-hand helper. She makes the decisions and continues the smooth flow so that we can digest our food and our emotions. So the liver follows the inner leg and the groin. The gallbladder follows the outer hip all the way to the outer feet. So it's really these lower body downward and upward channels that we will focus on when we come into stillness. So just aware of the liver, the inner leg, clearing and resolving any energetic or too rapid movement. So there's this directing. And then the outer body is, once we have this flow in place, the outer becomes, how do we take action? How do we direct that flow? And that's how we direct our growth up out of the spring. This is the plan. So hopefully you've had a chance to land, to tune in, to get yourself settled, comfortable clothes, whatever you need. And we'll start standing. And as we stand, we just start swinging. So your arms swing. You can rock side to side on your feet. And it may get a little bigger. It may begin to involve your legs. This is yours. So you're finding the little places that pause. You're finding the little extra. Moving the arms in this way, we're just clearing the upper back, clearing the chest. 5 and 4 and 3, 2. Good. And down. And so you might be a little taller, a little longer. Turn side to side. Loosen. The knees may be soft. If you like, widen your feet. Put a little bounce in your legs. And so you're allowing the hands to come against the body. And the swing of your arms is opening your shoulders. And it's opening your elbows. And the finger joints. And all the way to the fingertips. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And just coast to pause, feeling the circulation all the way into your hands. Good. And swing your hands across. and open and cross and open. So starting low is an option, bending the elbows as you're low is an option, and then coming a little higher as you cross is an option. So I want you to listen into your body. Where does it need to go? You can play with it, you can let it change. Feeling your day just start to fall away. That we could just let the effort become effortless. 3. Good. 2. I'm pausing. It's getting brighter. More space around me. Interlace your fingers. Sweep your hands up. With a bend of your knees, bring it down. So inhale up and exhale down. The shoulders open. The chest is long. And especially because the practice on the floor will be mostly in the legs. Just giving the upper body a chance to open and lengthen. Just for 3, 2, and 1. Now at the top, release your hands, go wide. Up the middle and wide. 5, 4, 3, 2. Good. Just bring it down onto your hands and knees for a moment. And if you choose, you're absolutely welcome to take your blanket, unfold it, so that you have some padding for your knees. And in your hands and knees, we're going to let the knee swing out 10 times. And so it's very, very simple. It's very, very small. I'm not involving my spine. It's just the hip, like the hinge of a door, for 3 and 2. So that with this little bit of motion, we can make a circle. So that the knee can start to make a circle. And that circle might be really small and near the floor, or that circle might be huge. It all depends on your day. Reverse your circle. Start small. And then let it get bigger. Oh, and bigger. And bigger. So I started with my right knee. And if you did, then put your right knee behind your left. If you started with your left knee, put your left knee behind your right. Widen your feet. We'll exhale, fold back. We'll inhale, we'll rise up. Broaden the back, loosen the jaw, turn the head, and fold in. And rise up. Sometimes we don't need a lot. We just actually need to move a little, to stretch a little, and to settle. And the breath is steady here. For 3. For 2. And come up. Hands and knees. Uncross. Remember how we got here? Swing the other knee. So I'm swinging my left because I started with my right. If you started with your right, swing your left. Happy Friday. Happy whatever day you replay this. Welcome. Loosen. Loosen. Now with that ease, with that grace, with that well-oiled hinge, make a circle. Again, it can be small, right? Or you can play. You can get a little bigger. You can explore. Where does it need to go? And then reverse. Start small. Start small so that you know that small is useful. It's not anything that's diminished. And then play. And find big. And then cross the knee that you've been circling. Cross it behind the knee that was holding you. Widen your feet. So knee in front of knee, fold back. And let it out. Let out the noise, let out the day. and rise. A little wag of the tail, a little loosening of the jaw and the face, and fold. And rise. And fold. And we'll stay back right here. Softening the elbows and the face. The outer hips, the inner thighs. Drum the fingers if there's any tension in your hands. Drop your head. Make sure your toes can move. And then rise. Excellent. Knees wide, toes together, child's pose. If you need to, come in and out. If you're ready to stay back, stay back. We'll stay just for 30 seconds. We'll start to allow a stillness. Finding a longer exhalation. Finding a full inhalation. So we rise. Setting up the first pose, you may use a blanket, you may use blocks, or if you just have a couch cushion, that's fantastic. Okay. We'll fold the blanket in half widthwise. That will support your back. Sit down in front of it. If you have props, you put the soles of your feet together. You take your blocks and you put them underneath the outer edge of your knees for support. You slide the blanket away or the whatever cushion you use until there's at least a fist or two separation between the end of the blanket and your tail. Take the blocks in your hand so that as you lie back, you can find the blocks under the outer thighs. Turn the palms open so the heart is high. If it's too far, then place an extra support under the back of your head. Now you may pause with the arms wide, or if you choose, if you have the space. The chest is warm now. Interlace your fingers, or palm on palm, under the back of your head. And that's where we begin. And we become still. Noticing the surfaces. On the inhale, we notice the front surface. The inner thigh, the inner arm. And feel the breath into the chest. And on the exhalation, you feel all the things that touch the floor. The edge of your feet, the backs of your hips, your shoulders, your hands. And you allow the front of your body to rest on the back of your body. And as you settle, notice anywhere you continue to hold or where you habitually know you hold. And just start to ease out of those spaces on the exhalation, resting more fully on the floor. For 3, for 2. And the legs walk out and the hands come down. One option is simply to rest, the chest supported by the bolster, depending on the comfort of the back of your head. And the other option, just set it aside. So in Yin, there's a concept of the rebound, that we come back to a posture of neutrality. We just notice. We let the body adjust to what we've just done. And walk your feet in. You'll cross your right ankle over the left knee and put your right hand on your right thigh and lightly press away. Notice any extra space that creates in your breath. If you like, left hand goes wide, a little higher than the shoulder. It's as though you were making space in the right hip joint, allowing the head of your thigh bone to come away from the pelvis so slightly. And you're making space in the left shoulder. And there's a diagonal between the two that we begin to experience. You can work there, or you can bring your left thigh closer and interlace your fingers behind the thigh, or interlace your fingers over the left shin. But we're not looking to deepen to the point where it's distressing. You're going to stay out 50 or 60% of your ability. Always seeking that place where there is a release available. Noticing that sort of ever-present ambition to go a little further. And yin is not this. Soften the shoulders. Finding the outer hip, the inner thigh. Softening our ambition, slowing down, becoming quiet. Again and again, each exhale is a release of the right hip, of the right toes. Each exhale making a change that is imperceptible from the outside. And from this deep place of folding, We unfold. Release your hands, walk your heels out wide, turn your palms open, and then we rebound. We feel the elasticity of the body. If you need to, the feet shake out, the knees shake out, the hips shake out. So that you can bend your knees and put your left ankle over your right knee and left hand to the left thigh and press it out. Work here or the right hand a little higher than your shoulder out to the right. So that it's as though you were making space between the left thigh bone and the pelvis, as though the hip joint could get traction. Instead of being compacted and standing, it starts to float open. And the right shoulder feels the same, like a small ship leaving the dock. Each exhale, a release, a setting down. The inner thigh, the outer hip, becoming aware of what you hold. Becoming aware that that's an option. Bring your right knee in, interlace your fingers behind the thigh or over the shin. Again, notice your ambition, notice your habit, and come to 50 or 60% of what you're familiar with, of what you know you can do. And instead of the effort, come into the duration. That we assume a posture that we can maintain with grace over time. And just checking in the places we tend to hold, the outer eyes, the space between the eyebrows, the lips, the jaw, the tops of our arms, the elbows opening, left hip, tips of the toes, back of the neck. Yin builds a very different sort of will, strengthening our patience. So that as you release and you unfold and you find that rebound experience, the palms coming open, that you are so still that you can feel into the subtle layers of connective tissue and circulation. Starting to discharge old energy habits, old energy patterns. Qi in traditional Chinese medicine is the equivalent of prana in the yogic philosophy. Either rolling to your side or rolling up. I'm going to come into a very simple pigeon. So if you have a blanket or a bolster, that can help. Thanks, Luke. And taking that folded blanket, I sweep my right foot back. Forgive me, we're going to start with the right knee forward. So the right knee behind your right wrist, coming to lay the outer right hip onto that blanket. The top of the foot down. If you need more support, get it higher. And we'll walk the fingers forward and wide. And on the exhale, just a simple fold, belly, then heart, then head. And peeling up in opposite order, head, then heart. So you feel the left hip open, a little tuck of the chin. And on your own time, in your own way, you're going to fold down and up 3 times. Feeling the left side open from the chest all the way through the hip, all the way to the feet. And then you'll walk your forearms to the floor. And take your forearms a step to the left. So my hands are pointed towards 10 o'clock. If my back foot was on 6, my hands would point towards 10 and 11. Let your head be heavy. Soften your shoulders, the surface of your face. Soften any holding or gripping in the right thigh. And walking your way back up. We're going to remove this bolster. Actually, let's keep it. If it's serving you, I want you to keep it. Lean to the right and swing your left foot up and out to the left. I'm going to turn so you can see me, so that my left leg is wide. If you have a block or two, this might be a perfect place to stack your blocks inside or outside. So let's say I stack my blocks and that's not quite high enough. I can turn my block on its side because I will put my elbow and then my head. So if that's, you want a little bit more, turn it down. You want a little bit more, set it aside. So that you are at ease. And what you're noticing is, did you just pop your right hip off the floor? And if you popped your right hip off the floor, put a block back. And your right hand sweeps up. Turn your palm, your right hand faces your left foot. And then you're going to just start to slowly reach overhead. Settle into the hips. Taking your time. And if you need to, you bend your right elbow down. Make some space, bring it up, reach it over. Bend your right elbow down, reach it up, bring it over. When you're ready, you bend your right elbow and you rest your arm on your head. Whenever you need to, if it becomes intense in your right shoulder, you know what to do. You sweep it up, you bend your elbow, you bring it down, and then you come over. We'll stay a minute right here. The exhale, you feel into what rests on the ground. And the ground includes the block. And the ground includes your head. You feel the right arm resting. Feel the left elbow resting. And on the inhale, you feel what's exposed. The right side body, the right hip. Just notice what you're holding. Soften. And instead of holding on, begin to be held. I am held. So yin is not the same as restorative. These are different things. Sometimes people are surprised at the intensity that can show up in yin. To come out, we go the way we came in. The right arm extends. Come up. Turn your palm. Set your hand down, and this will lift your body. Take your time. Hands on thighs. Pause neutral, please. And set your blocks aside. Set your blanket aside. Lie down on your back. One place to go. So that as you lie down on your back, heels wide as the mat, shake out the feet and the knees. Cross your right ankle over your left. So both are towards the left side of your mat. Hands overhead. Turn your chin to the left. Left hand holds your right wrist. Elbows as bent wide as they need to be. So the cross of the feet makes a soft bind. And you can relax and feel the weight of your right leg resting on the left. Soften the belly. Into the center. Release your hands down, uncross your feet. I like to have my hands on my body some, or you can turn your palms open. Notice right side, notice left, and in your stillness, just feel the rearrangement that's being accomplished internally. Just as we think about how prana is housed in the chakras and how each chakra has an impact, principles, attributes, influence. We just came out of concluded the action of Manipura. So too these meridians, these lines have attributes and principles. This outer line of the gallbladder, creating our access to purpose, to direction, really fitting with Manipura. So we start the other side by finding pigeon with the left knee forward. So rolling to your side or sitting up. You can find a dog if you like, and from your dog, you would bring your left knee towards your left wrist, or just roll it up as you will. Placing the blanket underneath the left side hip will give you a little support. Top of the right foot finding the floor. Fingertips wide as the mat, and folding your way down to rise up. To fold down. 2 times. And this time coming to your forearms. The chest is wide enough to open the upper back. I love to rest on my elbows to allow the back of my neck to lengthen to soften the tops of my shoulders. And take that length and take a step to the right. And that step to the right will sit you a little bit further back into the left outer hip. The left side of the spine. And then become quiet. Trusting the intelligence of your body. These lines, these channels, these energies. Fall into their arms. We change from holding to being held. Out of the shoulders, out of the face, out of the feet. Just noticing where you tend to hold on. Walking to the middle. To rise. Leaning left, sweep your right foot up and wide to the right. I'll turn to face you. And add your blocks outside the right thigh. And remembering our right elbow comes down. And if that's far, set it on its edge. And you're holding your head. And the way you know if it's too far is that the left hip will pull up off the floor and there'll be a tightening in the back of the left hip, low back. So find what works for you and take the left hand and giving yourself lots of time. Turn your left palm to face your right foot, opening out. And bend your left elbow down. And then sweep up and sweep over. Going a little further each time, feeling the connective tissue from the low back through the ribs. And as you've made some space, even rocking forward and back, you bend your left elbow. And allow your left arm to rest on your head and let your head rest on your right hand. And then you start noticing, where am I holding? And you start smiling at each of the places you are holding. An invitation to set it down. And realizing that the holding is often a reluctance to change. And just have this breath after breath opportunities to change, be changed. Where are you holding? We come out the way we went in. Left arm straightens. Left hand comes up. Use your left hand to lift your head. And come up right, hands on thighs, pause a beat. It's a big bend. It's a big change. And we take that big bend, that big lateral opening to the floor. So set your blocks, blankets aside. And as you lie back, heels are the width of your mat. Shake out the feet and the knees. Step your left ankle over your right. Elbows wide. Right hand holds your left wrist. Elbows as bent as they need to be. The eyes closed, the body's quiet. Being changed. That what if all the direction we needed to live the life we're here to live was in the side body? What if we could become so still that it could be revealed? That its energy could influence our intuition, so as we made each change, each choice, it would show itself. What shift inside of us do we need to make to really revere and to trust the energy and the principles of our inner body as a map. With no conscious effort, you grew kidneys and lungs. What you needed was known and provided. Trust this. Where are you holding? And let it go. Be held. Again, where are you holding? Let it go. And be held. To uncross your heels and the hands come down. In that place of rebound, we return to a new normal. Bring your right knee in, bend the left knee, put the foot to the floor, and draw your right knee close. Drop your right hip, drop your shoulders, widen the back of your head. And half happy baby. So lifting your right heel over your right knee, you may hold behind the thigh. You may hold the outer ankle. You may hold the outer right foot, bring it down. And the left palm goes to the left thigh. And press the left thigh away, again making space in the left hip. The left seat will come off the floor. So the right knee comes down and the left knee goes away. And the asymmetry is a rinse for the pelvis, the low back. A new access into the spine. Keep the left knee bent, keep the left foot to the floor and press out to the right side as you can. If pressing into your foot doesn't work, right hand to your right inner thigh, press away just for 5 and 4. Let it change your breath. And then your right knee bends, foot to the floor, left knee to chest. Pause. Right hand to right thigh, press away, a little traction, a little length. The left heel rises over the left knee. Hold behind the left thigh, or hold the outer left ankle, or hold the outer left foot and bring it down. So the left thigh comes down, the right seat will rise. Use that and press your right thigh away from you. You'll feel length in the left hip, the left lower abdomen. Broaden the upper back. Keep the right side as it is. Press the left foot into the left hand, extending the leg, open the back of the knee. Or if it's not there, left hand holds the left inner thigh, and with your knee bent, fine, press away. So find the pose that's yours. We stay for 5. Three, 2. Knees bend, feet flat. Turn your palms open, pause. Turn your heels wide and your knees in, and rest your knees together or your thighs. Imagining that you could allow answers to move through you. To the questions you haven't even formed yet. You become accessible to answers. Right? What a crazy thought. You are becoming accessible to answers for questions you have not asked yet. Let it in. Hands to the inner knees, inner thighs, knees widen. So I'm holding just behind where my thigh meets my knee. I press my right leg out and I press my right thigh into my right hand and it turned to the left, opening all the way behind my ear. I bend my right knee. I press my left leg out, press my thigh into my hand, turn my chin to my right shoulder. And bending the left, I straighten the right. A breath. Bending my right, I straighten my left. A breath. And just continue. Straightening one, turning away. Straightening the other, turning away. Notice which side is tighter for your neck. And find the tighter side and stay a breath or two. Let your chin become a little heavier. Your shoulder a little heavier. Turn to center, both knees bent, and then both legs straightening. Maybe they straighten, maybe they don't. Press your thighs into your hands. Stay for 5, 4, 2. Knees bend. And just the knees a little bit forward and back. And then the knees together, use your hands and roll yourself up and widen your heels as you sit tall. You'll take your blanket again and sit on its edge. And this will help the hips. 2 places to go. Heels wide. If this is tight and impossible, knees bend. Hands just inside, helping your knees go back. And you pause there. Perfect. If you have the length through the hamstrings and the inner thighs, maybe fingertips. You can add a block under your hands, maybe elbows. Maybe a block under your elbows. Softening the shoulders, letting them draw back from the ears, extending your hips back away from your hands. If you have the space, elbows planted, forehead in the palms, tail back, head to the hands. If it doesn't reach, blocks under your elbows, head in your hands. Or any variation. We'll be here 30 more seconds. If you want to stack the blocks under your chest or under your head, lots of options. Use it as a chance to breathe into the back of your body. Lift yourself up, and you'll use these wide legs to cross your legs and sit up tall. You might have made some significant space, and that crossed leg might be newly steady, newly inviting. Just for 1 minute, we do what's called viloma. And the inhale is full and clear. And then we'll exhale a third from the belly. We'll exhale a third from the chest. We'll exhale a third from the top. And then we'll inhale all the way back up. Out a third. Out a third. Out a third. Inhale up. Out a third, pause. Out a third, pause. Out a third, pause. Inhale. Out a third, pause. Out a third, pause. Out a third, pause. Inhale. Out a third, navel, pause. Out a third, chest, pause. Out a third, throat, pause. Inhale. Out a third, navel, pause. Out a third, chest, pause. Out a third, throat, pause. Inhale. 2 more. Out a third, pause. Out a third, pause. Out a third. Inhale. And out. And out. And out. Normal breathing. Let your body be effortless. Let your breath be effortless. Let your mind go anywhere it likes. With the eyes closed, in conclusion, I read this during the beginning of Manipura as we were learning that rest could be action. And this is from Morgan Harper Nichols. Isn't it beautiful how some things just fall together? When and how they're meant to. We don't even have to force them. You're allowed to take a break from the things you love. You're allowed to give the work you enjoy time and space. Listen, observe, take time to take things in. Let the quiet moments fill you up. Let that be enough. Whenever you start to feel uninspired to create, remember you don't have to. It's just as important to take time to listen, to welcome those uninspired moments as a moment to be. Be gentle with yourself. I have value when I am not producing anything. I have value when I am not working. I have value when I do not feel creative or inspired. Take time. So if you're a part of my community and we are taking the next 5 days, you are so worthy in each moment of stillness. You have opened up lines that will answer questions that have not yet been asked. Rest in this. Play it again and again, and I will see you soon. Sadnam. Namaste. Be well. I will see you on May 6th.